It's finally 2024, and can I just say, that number alone fills me with an indescribable feeling of pervasive helplessness. I know it's not cool to love trailers. Generally, you would love to see a video game rather than a trailer. So take Machine Games' Indiana Jones project, which is going to be part of next week's Xbox Developer Direct. I think it's great it's going to get that attention because, they already had the teaser. So they can't just be, So the idea that there's going to be 8 minutes or so of just showing what that game is in its debut is exciting and fun and also the right thing to do. So for me, an anticipated trailer is just one where I want to see a game's vision. I want to see where they're going with it in 60 to 90 seconds. What is special about this video game? And where do I wish list it? And if you look at my top 10 most anticipated trailers from last year, look, I was chillingly accurate with some stuff.
Maybe you're still yourself, but you got on a weird dog. It can ride the weird dog.
But only half of these trailers actually popped up in 2023. I figure now, no matter what, I can't do worse than 50%. Here are my top 10 most anticipated trailers for 2024. Number 10, PlayStation Gas. During their big PlayStation showcase from last year, Sony dropped CG teaser trailers for Fair Games, Concord, and Marathon, and then lifted their hands as though they had somehow accomplished something. Today, they know. These games and any other successive games as a service games waiting in the wings will be subject to an, at best, uninterested audience that they are going to have to win over. You cannot bust through those doors with the same energy. You can't come out in front of this audience and say, "Hi, we're hot. You want this? Come get it." You can't be that. What I'm just saying is that because none of what they put out connected with its intended audience, there is just going to need to be a new angle. And I think what I would recommend is just something pared down, something sincere, something natural. It's going to have to be Tracy Chapman in 1988 at Wembley Stadium, where there's this unruly crowd demanding Stevie Wonder. And Tracy Chapman comes out there with one acoustic guitar and she plays Fast Car and she hushes that crowd. She's got them captive for the entire 5 minutes or whatever, how long that song is, on Nelson Mandela's birthday. That's what you need, Fair Games. Number 9, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. One of the greatest things video games have allowed us to do as humans is press buttons that make a Dragon Ball Z character do something. Think about that for a second. What a dream. However, after Dragon Ball FighterZ final roster of 44 characters, and no joke, 7 years of DLC for Xenoverse 2, there's simply no novelty left in this imagery. And a big appeal of new Dragon Ball games is we're going to take in all the new characters that you haven't seen yet. Well, it looks like this year, the Dragon Ball series is going in a Muppet Babies direction. And as a major Muppet Babies proponent myself, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm thinking that these characters are not going to be ideal fighting game characters. But here's what I know for sure. Bandai Namco wants to make money from this video game. They have a plan. They have a hook that is yet unrevealed. If I got to venture a guess, I'm thinking just you can customize Vegeta's facial hair. Number 8, Metal Gear Solid Delta. So there's been a couple of trailers for this game so far, but there hasn't been a true vibes trailer. We've seen animals and red bricks, but this team has not yet proven that they have recaptured the tone of Metal Gear Solid 3. And I think the next trailer they show for this will be the "Oh no" or "Oh yes" trailer, meaning you'll see it and you'll know, probably nearly instantly. You will exclaim, "Oh no" or "Oh yes." And it won't take you, it could be a TikTok, man. It doesn't need to be a whole trailer. They could really just show Revolver Ocelot going, "Rawr," and you will know. That's what's exciting. It's not going to take 2 seconds. Number 7, Metroid Prime 4. The 2017 title reveal trailer for Metroid Prime 4 is one of the weakest E3 maneuvers in Nintendo history. I'm still furious about it. The video is titled First Look. And now in 2024, I'm expecting to see a second look at Metroid Prime 4. It would probably be another short look. Maybe even less than the 42 seconds that trailer took. So try to visualize what that is. Try to visualize how you can communicate this is next-gen Metroid in the least amount of time possible. Number 1, I can see like a rainy city with NPCs. I know that for most game series that wouldn't be a big deal, but for Metroid that would be a big deal. Number 2, maybe like a voice acting choice. Imagine this. Close your eyes. Howdy. Name's Samus Aran, and I'm a bounty hunter. Holy shit. Or number 3, Samus morphing into something other than a ball. Look, I know I'm always going on about this. I know I bring it up too much, but may I? Please vote. Okay, it looks like 65% of you voted I may. Thank you. For one more time, it is crazy to me that in Metroid lore, there's this alien race known as the Chozo. They have beaks and hyper-intelligence, and they can morph their entire bodies only into balls. You're like, oh, what else can you turn into, Chozo? And it's like, only balls. Like, why just balls? Did you ever try a pyramid or a cube? Did you even try? And so Samus just adopts that power from them. She can only turn, and it's not like mechanical, right? It's magical. She is somehow turning her bones and body and also the armor around that into a sphere. And that's supposed to be cool in every game. And so honestly, like I'm stuck on the ball, no doubt. Like just turn into a plane or a raptor, Samus. But also, I think that communicates like how weird it is, how deeply adherent Metroid is to the things that were set up in the NES game still. And I think honestly, just if the Metroid Prime 4 trailer can communicate anything different about what it's doing, I think that could be pretty powerful. Number 6, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League DLC character trailers. So I was talking earlier about how those Sony games as a service need to probably pivot because their initial reveals were not received too well, right? So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, after its gameplay reveal last year, had that big, massive, almost a year-long delay. And seemingly, there has been no discernible difference in how the marketing team has chosen to advertise this game. It looks like it's just full steam ahead with whatever they were going with initially. And that's just wild. Now, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that the Joker would be a DLC character for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Imagine that. To me, it is already a contender for worst trailer of 2024. The Joker is such a strange fictional character in that, like, he is insanely popular, right? But he only works in like 5% of his depictions. And the others are all trash. I can't imagine how they are going to try to sell that guy in that game. Number 5, Final Fantasy IX Remake. Now, this was actually my most unanticipated trailer of last year because I love the original so much that I had so much fear that they would kind of blow this and kind of ruin the game's legacy. I wanted it to be good too much. However, last month, we saw this trailer for Visions of Mana. And this kind of came out of nowhere to me. This looks beautiful. So I figure that's the floor. Final Fantasy IX will look at least as good as Visions of Mana. No possible way it looks worse than that, right? So let's see it already. Number 4, BioShock. Promise me you won't be surprised when BioShock comes back. 2K announced in 2019 that they got the studio Cloud Chamber working on a new BioShock game. They said we're working on it. I figure, hey, it's 5 years later. It's probably not time for the game yet, but maybe it's trailer time. And something I think is an interesting obstacle, while BioShock and BioShock Infinite were both big successes, they're not quite as relevant today. I don't sense a deep clamoring for a new BioShock game. So you have to ask, what is that trailer going to present? What makes BioShock still special here in 2024? What is BioShock as a franchise? I figure 3 things. 1, weird first-person magic powers like bees. 2, a narratively infused, fantastical, impractical, historical environment. And 3, a scary, kind of alive mechanical menace. I'm guessing they're going to try to hit all 3 of those bullet points and somehow make a video game that makes money in the current era of gaming. Cloud Chamber? Let's ride. Number 3, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I think this is going to be big. I think this is going to be like the most anticipated DLC of like the last 5 years. And the trailer itself, I mean, it probably doesn't have to be much. It could just be typical new weapons, new environments, new enemies, new bosses. Here's the release date. It could just be that. But I expect it to be so much more because of this studio, because of how great that game is. My expectations are sky high. I think the next trailer is going to show an icon. I expect it to have this character or creature that everyone watching becomes immediately attached to. I'm saying I'm sitting here with this game like I'm an only child and my parents just told me my mom is pregnant. Number 2, new Nintendo hardware. Now this is actually the only repeat from last year. Last year, I thought they would do what they did with the Switch, right? Where they have this sort of human experience-focused reveal trailer, and then they say, we'll show you more next year. Now we're in a situation where there will be a reveal and release in the same year. So am I excited for the People trailer? Yeah, of course. Am I excited to see the new Parental Controls trailer? Yep. But at this point, there is still something unleaked. The dark twist. The stupid thing. I don't know if there has ever been a modern Nintendo console that released without a stupid thing. And no, there's no point in guessing what the stupid thing is. It wouldn't be stupid otherwise. I don't have a list right now for 3 things that the stupid thing could be. I will not come close, I assure you. All we can do is wait on that ticking time bomb that is Nintendo's YouTube channel to let it rip. And my number 1 most anticipated trailer of 2024 is Bear Romance response trailers. All right, so Baldur's Gate 3, massive success last year. Rightfully won many Game of the Year awards, rightfully achieved accolades and incredible sales success. You know, and it's not because of the bear mashing, right? I'm not sitting here like saying it's because of that, right? But here's what I am telling you. If you're in charge of the development and publishing of an RPG in any year after the release of Baldur's Gate 3, and you are not trying to replicate this moment, you are hurting your team. You are wasting their time and your money. You need this. And I don't think this is a long shot, right? I think we could all probably guarantee that at some point in this year, someone's going to try to replicate that bear moment. But what would that look like? How do you heighten that? How do you escalate a vampire being climbed on by a man who turned into a bear? 1, animals larger than bear. Like, is a woolly mammoth man on the table here? Would people be into that? 2, maybe it's the inherent danger of the physical relationship that people were enticed by. So maybe it's like a cactus person and a water balloon person freaking. Or 3, innovate. Make up your own thing. I'm thinking of like Dragon Age. Dragon Age needs to do this now. Stop what you're doing if you don't have some freaky, horny thing. You can reveal a brand new fantasy race. No one's going to stop you. Today, we're introducing the Seeped. And we'll just answer your first question now. Yes. Yes. And that concludes my top 10 most anticipated trailers for 2024. And that is delayed input for this week. Until next time, thanks for watching. So I had to cancel delayed input last week because I was too dang sick. And I know I don't sound great this week, but what hurt the most last week is that I actually had a very cool sounding voice and I couldn't share it with anyone. You know, being sick like adds this nice gravelly texture. You feel like a man who's seen things. And so I took the opportunity. I sat down and recorded some promos for delayed input that might be useful in the future. Check these out. 3 years ago, everything changed. Delayed input. Several Fridays a month on youtube.com/Kyle Bossman. Video game introspection at your fingertips. Delayed input. Delayed input. It's almost like jazz. I, and only I, can battle this dragon. Delayed input. What do grizzly bears and gamers have in common? They all love delayed input. Delayed input, where Crash Bandicoot meets Lara Croft.